So there are so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless. Welcome to Smilin' Cottage. The reason I'm sharing this today is because I think we've all been there, right? You get this spark of motivation. You want to learn a new skill, so you dive headfirst into this endless ocean of how-to videos. But hours later, you haven't learned anything. You're just stuck, drowning in a sea of open tabs and totally conflicting advice. So what's really going on here? Well, there's actually a name for that feeling, that sense of being completely stuck. And believe it or not, it's at the heart of a massive opportunity. It's something called the overload paradox. See, the problem today isn't that we don't have enough information. It's that we're buried in an absolute avalanche of it. I mean, every single time you unlock your phone, you've got thousands of experts and gurus and creators, all shouting at you, telling you a million different ways to do, well, pretty much anything. And what's the result of all that noise? We freeze up. It's a real thing called decision paralysis. In fact, a psychologist named Barry Schwartz literally wrote the book on this. It's called The Paradox of Choice. And what he found was that when we have way too many options, we don't end up making better choices. We just get completely overwhelmed and stop choosing altogether. But what if the solution to all this paralysis is actually surprisingly simple? What if a regular, full-time mom figured it out and built a million-yuan business in just a year by doing the exact opposite of what all the so-called experts tell you to do? Let's dive into her story. Okay, so meet Xiao Yu. Back in 2022, she was not an AI expert, not even close. She was just a mom trying to figure out how to use ChatGPT to help her kid with English homework. And when it worked, she started sharing her process online, just filming exactly what she was doing, step by simple step. And the response? It was absolutely incredible. In 3 months, she had 50,000 followers. And within a single year, she'd built a whole community and was earning a 7-figure income. So, what was her big secret? Did she have some kind of advanced hidden AI technique? No, not at all. It was something way more fundamental than that. In a world that is just drowning in confusion, she offered a single, clear, actionable path. She gave people who felt lost certainty. This is so important because it shows us that the most valuable thing you can offer today isn't more information, it's clarity. And Xiao Yu's success story actually lights up 4 distinct paths that pretty much anyone can take to provide that clarity and build something really valuable. So the first path is exactly what she did. You sell certainty. You don't have to be the world's foremost expert on a topic. You just need to cut through all the noise for one specific problem and give people a simple step-by-step guide. That promise of, hey, forget everything else, just follow these steps, that is immensely valuable. Second, you can do it in public. Basically become what's called an action proxy. People are just fascinated by watching other people try the things they're too afraid or too busy to attempt themselves. The founder of ConvertKit, Nathan Barry, did this perfectly. He publicly documented his entire journey to $1 million in revenue. He wasn't teaching people how to do it, he was just doing it and letting everybody watch. Showing your real, messy, authentic process is honestly 10 times more powerful than just telling people what to do. All right, the third path is to teach the basics. Now, this one might sound counterintuitive. We often think we need to be teaching these really advanced, complex subjects. But the real gold mine, it's in the fundamentals. Most people aren't trying to get from an 80 to 100. They just need help getting from 0 to 60. You know, things that might feel like absolute common sense to you, like how to use a basic spreadsheet, are huge roadblocks for millions of people. And the reason this opportunity is so huge is because of this little cognitive bias called the curse of knowledge. See, once you become an expert at something, you literally forget what it felt like to be a beginner. You can't remember the confusion or the basic questions you had, which ironically makes a lot of experts pretty terrible teachers for beginners. But if you've just learned something, you are in the perfect position to help someone who is exactly where you were just a little while ago. And finally, the fourth and maybe the most powerful path is to just be the living proof. Now, this isn't about faking some perfect life online, not at all. It's about authentically living in a way that other people aspire to, and this is the most important part, showing them the path you actually took to get there. The writer Dan Kow calls this being a living case study. Your life itself becomes the curriculum, proving to other people that a different way is actually possible. So, you've got these 4 paths, right? Selling certainty, doing it in public, teaching the basics, and being the living proof. Now, they might seem a little different on the surface, but they all boil down to one simple, incredibly empowering idea at their core.
And here's the crucial point. This is the big takeaway. You don't need to be a master. You absolutely do not need to have all the answers. You just need to be one single step ahead of the people you want to help. If you can document that one step or teach that one step, that single piece of clarity is the value that people are so desperately looking for. All right, that's a wrap for this episode. If you have any thoughts or suggestions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who needs it. This is Smiling Cottage. See you next time.